Ooh, that was loud. Ooh, that was loud too.
A great crowd today. We're excited. I've already prepped them. They have to be ready to go. We're a lot of crowd participation today.
Yes, we're going to suck them in. We're going to give them a mic, and we're going to turn them loose. We're going to see how that goes. Yes.
So we got some exciting some changes in what we're going to do here starting in the summer with our education, our sales meeting stuff. So we'll get to that part in a minute, but we're excited to have everybody today.
Nothing like dropping a teaser.
No, a little teaser so you can watch. We'll get into it earlier in the meeting. We'll talk about some changes we've got. But
yeah, we're super excited about all the things.
As you can see from our slide, but before our next meeting, we'll have Memorial Day weekend. So we certainly always want to, never too early to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. So I love that slide that Heather did. She did a great job with that. But so be thinking of that next week for Memorial Day. So love that part. We like to start our sales. We have a great control over hopefully trying to get our buyers to go there. But these are people that were able to bring their listings, get the whole deal to close at Cardinal. So they are our special rock stars.
Wow, you guys are awesome. There's a lot of you.
Yes, so we got Anne-Marie Clements, Arslan Jamil 2 times. This is since our last meeting 2 weeks ago. Axel Shamus, Bill Petrie, Carmen Carter Howe, Uncle Casey Samson, Christina Pearson 2 times, Christina Seminaro, Claudia Moreno Toledo, and Dave Luckenball.
Debbie Maxim, Dennis Cooper, Dilyara Dominova, Elizabeth Ann Wilson. Oh, that's Beth Ann, isn't it? Beth Ann Wilson. Guillermo Salmon.
She roots to get that name every time.
Janice Cairns, Jorge Najarro, Kadeen Fisher, Lisa Patton, and Lucia Arjason.
Myra Pineda, Michelina Curie, Nancy Mazel, Nora Alajanian, Peter Frias, Raman Abari, Raymond Bramo, Robert Heather, Rolf Quatz.
His mouth. Rolf Quatz.
Our fantastic broker manager, Tyson's Vienna, Rolf and Todd.
Yeah, this is where we should normally, JD, just put up like, what's the little Looney Tunes character?
Daffy Duck?
No, what's the one that has that? Maybe Daffy Duck.
I don't know. Rolf Kratz and Roxanne Southern.
That one fell flat. Sorry.
You have to go now.
I do. Sean Jones, Stephanie Johnson.
Sean Jones had 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, he did the small print for me. Sorry. Sean Jones, 2. Thank you. Stephanie Johnson, Stephen Benitez, Suyin Ray, Surya Reddy, Tamar Myers Moffitt, Vicky Duzik, and Yolanda Bell. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all so much for all those people that are bringing those contracts to Cardinal.
And don't forget, if you're in the room,
really appreciate it.
Shout out with a woot woot.
Yes, if we don't see you or you forget, let us know so we can make sure we congratulate you.
Yes.
We've had 42 new family members come to Samson Properties in the last 2 weeks. So great stuff, and we want to thank you all for your continued referrals. We'll talk more, remind everybody about the recruiting rewards in a second. As we pull up this chart, look at the column on the right. It says their home office. If somebody's coming to your home office, out of 42, you might have a couple that are coming to your home office. Keep a heads up for them so you can give them a special hello and make them feel welcome here at Samson. Our first list, we've got Adolphius Pierre, who came from Pearson Smith. Alex Varabai is a new agent. Ali Ballou from Remax Results in Frederick, and Ali joined us in the last 2 weeks and also has recruited several people on this list already in the first couple weeks. So Allie's been busy. Andrea Glenn from Brissis International Realty. Ashley Stefan from Exit Preferred Realty. Barbara Bridnacher Weber from Avery Hess. Bowen Murphy, who is one of our admins at Chantilly.
One of our fill-ins, and he does the front desk as well.
There you go. Caitlin Ellis. So they came from Property Collective, and we'll have a couple more up here. Stephen and Caitlin Ellis have Ellis Properties. They do a fantastic job. We've also got a family team member, Lauren Whitehead, in here as well. Their whole team does a fantastic job, sells $35–40 million a year. They came from Property Collective. Great history, super excited. Great. They've actually got an office in Chantilly, and they do a fantastic job. So welcome to Caitlin and Stephen and the Ellis Properties team. Cheryl Hamback, very successful realtor from Redfin. David Brown.
From Florida.
From Florida. That's a company name, from Florida.
I would like to be known as Sarah Mormon from Florida. One day, maybe.
Someday, Sarah.
One day. Deona Johnson from NRT Mid-Atlantic. Duncan Smith from Bennett Realty Solutions. Dustin Cohen is a new agent. Elizabeth Delgado from United. She's here in Fredericksburg. Gwendolyn Snow is a new agent. Heather Moselle from Inactive to Active. Wei Lara Liu from Pearson Smith. James Anderson from NV Realty. Jesse Elliott is a new agent, and Jessica Switcher from Birch Real Estate Group. Welcome, you guys.
Welcome, welcome. And there it goes.
There it goes.
Didn't go right away. Joanne Manning and Julie Robinson are both new agents. Lauren Whitehead from Property Collective and the Ellis Properties Group. Luis Felipe del Almeida Pacana from Exit Flagship, Mahin Perzada from Avery Hess, Martiera Johnson from Remax Specialists, Mary Beth Lewandowski from Remax Results. She's joining our Fredericksburg office here. Naya Evans is a new agent. Pravin Chaudhary from Fairfax Realty, and Ravi Patu is a new agent.
Richard Rupert from EXP, Robin Rayberg from Remax, Saman Malecki from Keller Williams, Sebastian Jimenez from William G. Buck Associates, Sheila Tyler is a new agent, Stephen Ellis, the other part of Ellis Properties Group from Property Collective. We have Susan Miner from Path Realty, Suzanne Sarhanis from Allison James. We have Thomas Orme as a new agent along with Velvet Fung, and we have Victoria Yoder from Olympia Global, and Yahaya Fareda is a new agent in Bethesda. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. Welcome to our family.
Welcome to the family.
42 new family members
Yes.
in the last 2 weeks, so we're excited about that. Our top performers, this is for the whole company for the month of April. Volume transactions, we do individuals and teams. So this is for the whole month of April. Got to, you're going to laugh at
We sold some houses.
How close this was.
So close.
So our top performers in volume, my man Adam Shively out of Charlestown, nipped Dilyara 4.364 to 4.350. Got her by $14,000. So congratulations, Adam. And Dilyara Dominova, fantastic job as well.
Fantastic, you guys.
Ferry Sarobian. It was there. I just couldn't land it.
His mouth wasn't
4.2. My mouth is waking up. Mackenzie Tessier from just under 3.7 million, and Dane Work just over 3.3. Great job to our top 5 individuals in volume.
So if we look at our top performers by transaction, again, Adam and Dilyara both tied with 8. That's fantastic. Tonga Turner and Tara Lowe both tied with 6. And then a big, huge tie with 5 transactions for the month. Dane Work, Andrea Hayes, Mark Morris, Stacy Cato, William Wu, Sean Jones, and Christy Edwards. Congratulations,
Great job
guys.
to all of our
Awesome
top
month.
individuals.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Fantastic months of April. And our top teams, we got a battle going on here. We got some good teams at Samson Properties that we're continuing to grow and join. And this was as close as it gets up at the top there. Shepherd Homes Group, $14.8 million for the month of April. Jamil Brothers, $14.1 million. The One Street Company, just under $13.4 million. Uncle Casey had a great month and still just 4th in this list, but $10.5 million. He's not going to like seeing that.
Sell more, Casey.
And the Redstone Group, fantastic month, $5.6 million. So 5 great teams, lots of great teams, but those 5 did a great job in volume this month.
And top teams by transactions, the One Street Company with 27 houses, Shepherd Homes Group with 20, Your Realtor Rocks with 18, Jamil Brothers Realty Group with 13, and Casey Samson Team. Uncle Casey, you only got 11. You need to sell a few more. Yes.
Great job by all of our teams.
Congratulations, you guys. Awesome
Top
job.
volumes
Awesome
and
job.
transactions for the month. So I will not bury the lead any longer as we get through our top people.
We have surprises.
We have surprises. So we're going to change a little bit of the structure of what we do here. We love our sales meetings and being on the road, but we've kind of, it's morphed into from 2 to 3 to now we were doing specifics for states, and it's, I don't know how we got to where we were, but we're doing 3 and it's a lot, and sometimes we feel like sometimes too much information and it's getting lost in the weeds a little bit. So we're going to pivot starting in June to one really big sales meeting. We're going to make it a great event. We're going to have raffles, we're going to have giveaways, we're going to have at least 2 top producers come and do guest prizes. We're going to come at least have 2 top producers each time come give 5 or 10 minute quick tidbits and what's going on in the market.
Updates by people that are producing at a heavy.
You guys have had enough of Donnie and Sarah, right?
Yes.
So if we bring in, we're still going to have great tips from Richard and our education
there's a
department.
camera, so you're not actually getting rid of us.
Yes, we're still going to be here.
We'll still be here. We're just bringing in more meat.
Richard and his education department, we're still going to have Cardinal and First Heritage hits. We're going to have 2 top producers, shorter, more efficient, great, more actionable items.
Great, more actionable.
Great, more actionable. And better sentences from me, hopefully, as well. But the idea is we want to have one big sales meeting. We want it to be more of an event. We're going to do one every single month. It's going to be the 3rd week. The 3rd Wednesday is going to be our goal. So we're going to be able to summarize things, but make it better.
Company-wide. part of why we went on the road after COVID was to come back in the offices and give good energy and see everybody in all the footprint and see everybody and spend time with you. But what we realized was we loved it, we loved seeing you, but we really didn't get to spend a lot of great time with you because we were rushing in, we were figuring out technology, we were getting ready to present, and then as soon as it was over, you guys had work to do, and he was running off to a lunch and learn, and we never just got to sit down and have good time with you. So now, in an effort to continue to see you.
The first one of these, and then we'll go to where Sarah's going. The first one's going to be Wednesday, June 21st. We're going to do the third Wednesday. It's going to be at headquarters at Chantilly. We're gonna hopefully pack the house. We'll have you in standing room only. The other thing we're going to do with our Chantilly one, we'll have prizes, giveaways, T-shirts, gift cards. Make it exciting to be there. Is we're going to pivot afterwards. We're almost call it like a Samson social. That's a name in progress. But even after the sales meeting, be some interaction. Maybe bring some vendors in. Have some games, have some activities where you get to hang out at headquarters, interact with each other, bring a little bit of that community back to after our sales meetings. Make it a little bit more of a fun event. So we're going to do that. June 21st will be our first one, and then we're going to do one a month going forward. It'll be the third sales meeting. We'll be at Chantilly some. We're going to rotate a couple big offices. We won't go to every single office in our footprint. We're going to try to keep them to our bigger space. My man Justin's coming over.
It's for the people at home, yes.
The time for the sales meeting?
It will still be 10 to 11:30 typically. I say 11:30, maybe 11:45, but we're going to launch at 10 o'clock, so that everybody's got some time to get there. If they're traveling in once a month and they want 30 minutes, an hour to get to wherever we're going, hopefully we'll have a lot of people come. It'll be more interactive. The thing that, and I'm going to try to get more interactive today, is I want less of us talking. Look, I think we're fine and whatever, but I want more interaction. What's going on in the market? I want top producers to come up. We want more on it, so I think it'll be great. We've got a lot of big plans for it. So we're going to do one great sales meeting every month, make it more relevant, and then we got some things that we're going to pivot to as well, like Sarah said.
So coming in July, we're actually going to continue to come out in the field and see everybody, and we're going to bring all of our education teams, and we're going to do an HQ to you. So all of our education departments and all of the different subject areas, we're going to have a content-rich day. It's similar to the old marketing. Well, what does that mean? What am I learning? Some people come in and they're like, I don't have the first account and I don't know what social media is. And some people are gurus that they're on every platform and post 14 times a day. There's such a broad difference. So we're going to have he's like, we're going to have very actionable, she's like, what did I do? We're going to have very actionable classes with defined content areas so that you will come out. We're going to have the rest of the team there. So if someone comes in and they need a little bit more one-on-one help, they're not getting it just as fast, the other team members can jump in and help. So we're going to be working with all different levels of experience and technical ability and knowledge to really help people have actionable items after our day. It also allows us to spend time with you, get to know you, and really engage with you throughout the day. So
what we're going to do is, like Sarah said, long day of classes, but 30 to 45-minute hits, nothing hour, 2 hours long, dedicated subjects. In the middle of the day, we're going to have what we call leadership lunch. So Sarah and I, a bunch of our brokers, leaders will come to each one. We're going to have lunch, hang out. That'll be kind of the middle of the day each time, built around that. Dedicated classes with a good cardinal title topic. We'll have a great coaching topic from Richard. We'll have a great marketing class. We'll have real actionable items that are 30 minutes. You'll know what the classes are. You'll know the schedule. You better pop in, get a whole day of it. Now look, if we're doing it at Stafford and you can get there within 30 minutes, go to Stafford. The HQ to you is our whole staff. So like Sarah said, look, if you don't love the class that's going on right now, then great. You can get over here. The rest of the staff's around. You can do one-on-ones. We're going to book one-on-ones around, and we'll just have people to help. We'll have headshots at all the HQ to use. So we think it's a great way for our whole team to get out, really dive in, have a great schedule, be able to pour lots of fresh education into it, the one another's that sometimes we miss when we're stressed out of our sales meeting and getting live feeds. We can actually kind of be there, be present, and spend that time with everybody.
And that's important to us. That's the whole reason why we started coming out in the field, was get to know everybody, hear what's going on in your world, and really impact the energy in the office. But we found out that we weren't really doing it well with, sometimes people came to the sales meetings, we sometimes didn't have great participation, and then with us rushing off, we weren't able to sit down and really engage with you the way we want to. So now it's not just us engaging, the entire team's coming out. So you'll have 6 or 7 different trainers on site, you'll have us, you'll have good, solid educational topics that'll be meaningful and valuable in your business.
Probably 2 to 3 a month. Generally, we're going to try to keep them more like a Wednesday schedule where it's, okay, we got sales meeting on the third Wednesday, HQ to use on the other 2 or 3 of those Wednesdays as well, so that we'll be able to move all over our footprint. We've got a draft schedule in place. We'll announce those as they come, but think 2 or 3 of them a month in July and every month after that, and we'll announce where they are. Make sure we're advertising them well through our offices, things, interact with everybody. You know, I'm sure we'll have lots of free food and good fun throughout that day as well.
And remember,
That's a topic, but structure. So we're really excited about it.
We
Our team,
are.
I think, will got behind it. It's been a good time to step back, do a refresh on how can we do sales meetings better, how can we do our training and our one another.
deliver better content to you, make more impact in your life.
So that's why we're planning this for June for sales meetings. In
Yes.
July, we'll kick off the full schedule. We are going to still do all the marketing days and education stuff that we've planned for June, but we'll be planning for a big rollout of all these in July, which will be a good refresh for everybody. So we're excited about that.
We are.
Want to remind everybody,
Yeah.
we announced these last sales meeting, but our recruiting rewards here today were brought by,
By
a
another
buddy.
Samson agent, yeah.
By another Samson agent said you need to consider coming here. We wanted to give back more to you all and incentivize you guys to continue to spread the word. So we've upped those recruiting rewards a little bit. As you can see here, we have the 4 tiers. $500 is anybody that did 0 to 9, I guess. 0 to 9 transactions last year. $2,500 if they did 10 to 19 transactions the previous year. $5,000 if they did 20 to 39 transactions. And $10,000 if they did 40 or more transactions. So we've really now, you go and you reach out to a colleague or you had a great transaction with somebody, talk up Samson a little bit, make that introduction. You could get $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 reward if they end up joining us. So we do have a couple of the ideal ways that we want you to introduce them to be eligible for it, because we don't want it's not, the rules aren't here to be restrictive. The rules are here so that we make sure we have order, because somebody might call Jay, and then they call Mark, and then they call me, and all of a sudden they've had 3 different people refer the same person. We wanted to have some kind of order to how we're doing things. The first ideal thing is invite them to a lunch and learn. We actually have one here today at Fredericksburg Country Club this afternoon. If you're in the area, if you have a friend you want to come by, but come to a lunch and learn. Bring them. Worst case scenario, if you can't make it with them, tell them to come. Make sure that you shoot us an email ahead of time. Say you're sending your friend or whatever, and they're going to be at the lunch and learn. So lunch and learn is the greatest way, and we try to spread those out all over the place. The second way is we've got a recruiting intake form. If you go to
The Cardinal Nest.
the Cardinal Nest, what does it look like?
All the way down on the left-hand nav bar, you've got a big blue button called Recruiting Rewards with the $.
Yes, so that there's money
so important,
there.
$, right?
You can make money.
You can click on that Recruiting Rewards link. It'll take you to Donnie's video and the rules and the intake form.
So it's got that intake form. If I'm referring Sarah, I write my name. I'm their agent. This is the agent I'm referring. You both sign. You email it into recruiting@samsonproperties.net. From there, our team will take it. We'll reach out. We'll connection. We don't need you to be the recruiters. We hear the word recruiting, and we're like, okay, I got to learn all the things and sell them. Look, guys, we'll do that, okay? It's more referring, right? I want you to look, this is why I love Samson. I think it's great. You need to go to lunch and learn, at least hear what's going on. Make that warm introduction, to let them know, hey, I love the place. This is a good place to go. Here are a couple reasons that I like it. Then introduce them. We do this every day, so we'll do the phone calls, the Zooms, the in-person meets, the lunch and learns. We'll connect with them. Me and the recruiting team will reach out to them. The recruiting team and I think I'm supposed to say. The recruiting team will.
We will all.
We will all reach out
Or
and we'll
someone
connect.
will,
So
yes.
the intake form. Third way, they don't want to sign a form. They don't want to go to lunch and learn to be seen. I get that. Just a direct email to me. Just to me, CC your buddy. Say, hey, my friend Sarah is CC'd here. She's considering joining. I've talked to her about Samson. She'd love to talk to you. She'd love to come to something. I'll reach out to her directly. I'll connect with them and get them with our team and hopefully give them all the information they need to hopefully make the decision to come.
As they close deals within Samson Properties, you will get paid automatically every time they close a deal based on the reward category. It is important for you, if you do send an email directly to Donnie, that you do put the other agent's name on it, and here's why. We have had people, not anybody in this room would do this, we have had people email and say, I want you to contact this person and this person and this person and this person. And these people, when we call them, they're like, why are you calling us? Because, nice, warm introduction. We want to make sure that those people do, in fact, want to be called, that they do, in fact, have interest in learning more, Not just, we don't want to spam them. We don't want
Yeah.
any mass emails out or any mass recruiting messages out. That doesn't look good for us. That's not how we recruit. We don't want to do that. We want just to we want to give back to you for the relationships you already have.
If you email and say, hey, Richard Bridges was on the other side of this transaction, he was a good agent, you should call him. I appreciate that. I'm sure Richard's a great agent. But
And I'm sure Richard appreciates that you think he's a great
But
agent.
there's not any actual, then it makes us look bad if all of a sudden I pick up the phone, I'm like, hey, Richard, I hear that you had a great deal with Sarah. You want to talk about
come talk to
Samson?
us?
He's like, no, why are you calling me? At least have
That doesn't make anybody
have
feel
some
good.
of those
Yeah.
conversations so that, I don't want to be cold calling people or you just give me a whole list of people to call. So, you want to have that warm introduction and we can give back to you that way. The other reason, just so you know why the 4 payments, this is not to make it sound bad, but people look for ways around systems. So if I'm referring Richard and I know that Richard really doesn't have any interest in keep on selling homes.
Richard's decided he's going to retire.
Right. He comes in, he joins Samson so I can get 10 grand and then I retire. He retires.
We're not
he
trying
shows
to,
a little bit of commitment towards us, then you
we're
get
not
paid
trying
out.
to put baby in a box. We just need some bumper rails up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any questions on the recruiting rewards that you've kind of thought through as you've come up? Some of you guys have heard of this, obviously, before as we sent information out the last week or two, but any thoughts, questions, good, bad, indifferent? Crowd's still waking up, Sarah.
Yeah, they are.
We need to, kick them?
I don't know. Do we have prizes? I can what was it, a potato gun? I can potato gun them.
Yeah, we were talking about having a T-shirt gun. But
that
from
would
here
be
to there,
fun.
it might be rough. That might knock Greg out.
Greg Duck. Yeah.
So the recruiting rewards is
Yes.
something that
We know that there's a lot of changes coming down the company, and to improve the tools and resources, service, and training that you're getting for your business, we do not want to get stagnant. There's one thing you can say about us: we will never be stagnant. We will never rest on our laurels and energy to infuse more subject areas just to make you have the opportunities to be better if you want to take advantage of them.
And as Sarah says this, I want to send out a reminder to everybody. We sent it out, Friday?
Yes.
Friday, right? So we sent out a survey to everybody Friday afternoon. I sent it out from my email with video, hoping that you would fill out that survey.
Yes.
Guys, I've read, as of yesterday, 250 responses, and I've read every single one of them.
Every single one, guys.
I'm sure there are several that on our staff that have read all of them. There's several of us with access. I know Richard's nodding his head. He read every single one.
I'm halfway through.
And
I'm getting there.
So I would encourage you, please go fill that out. Look, a lot of them are great. They love it. That's awesome. But I love the constructive feedback as well. Nobody was really mean about it. They're like, hey, I'd love to have.
The one I read said they hate Donnie.
There's only a couple of those. But in reality, it's like, well, it asks, how can we educate you better? How can we do things better? Is there anything out there that we're not thinking about? And I got a couple things for, this type of class or this. We want that
We
feedback.
want that. What do you
Because we
want?
want to deliver what you're looking for. We're always, evolving. We ask, out of all of our services, what do you like the most? What do you not really care about? We want to make sure that we've got the pulse of what everybody cares about. We also ask, when you joined, why did you join? So that we kind of get a feel for that as well. So if you had a minute, please go in. It's really cool. I don't know how you did this, Richard, when you set it up, but it says how long it took everybody to fill out the survey. Most of them are like 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes, on average. So please spend 2 minutes, go in there. A couple of them are like 5 or 10. I was like, are you really thinking about this for a while?
Well, and that's important.
How many times did you delete your answer and go back?
And let me rephrase this and make it a little nicer. And that's important, guys. We joke about it up here, but it's very important because at the end of the day, every single person that we have on staff, every single system we have in our company, every single tool we buy costs money. And if we're allocating those funds, we want to make sure that that's something that you want in your business, that you're using and that you see value in. Because if not, and there's another technology over here or another tool or another system or another person that we need to do something different, we want to make sure that we're investing in the right things that you're looking for to grow. So it's important for you guys to constantly give us that feedback. It really is important to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we take it and we're gonna provide action with it. So
Yes.
please fill out that survey. If you get a chance, we'll continue to push that out here. Fredericksburg Country Club. If you're in the area, you have a friend that would like to learn about Samson, we'd love to see you. 12 to 2:30 next Wednesday. Great restaurant out there. And then
I will vouch the food is fantastic.
2 weeks from today, we'll be in Richmond. So we'll be down at Maggiano's in Richmond. Got a great Maggiano's right at Short Pump there. So we'll be down there 2 weeks from today. So if you're a little bit south of here, or if you're in this area but can't make it today, next hour down 95, an extra 45 minutes, we'll be down there at Richmond. And we'll be doing a lunch and learn down there in Richmond in 2 weeks. And then in June, first time we've announced all these. June 7th, we'll be in our Alexandria office. In our office, we got that beautiful conference room. Seats, very comfortable seats,
great
40, 50
space,
people, great space. So in the grand opening, so we're going to have, not grand opening, but the first big sales meeting.
The new and improved
The
sales
new and
meetings.
improved sales meetings, June 21st in Chantilly Inn headquarters. And then afterwards, we'll do a little bit of a social. More to come on what that looks like. And then we'll do a lunch and learn in June the next day at Chantilly Country Club, about 10 minutes from the office, 5 minutes from the office on the 22nd, 12 to 2:30. And then closing out June, we'll be in Columbia on Wednesday the 28th, 12 to 2:30. And that is at Seasons 52 restaurant in Columbia. So I want to make sure everybody had that June schedule out there so we're all over our footprint so you can know who to reach out to.
And if you ever are looking for a lunch and learn, you're not quite sure when they are and you just can't remember, you can go to joinsamson.com.
JoinSamson.com.
JoinSamson.com has all the most current, future lunch and learns there, the recruiting books there. You have all access to that data and you can just use that if you need to.
I also videoed a whole lunch and learn last week,
Yes.
2 weeks ago, that we're editing now and we're going to put up there on joinsamson.com. So if you ever are like, oh, they can't get to something, but they really want to learn all the information, or you're out there and you haven't been to lunch and learn in a while, you want to know all the things we're offering, we've got a video that should be updated here. The one on there is probably like 9 months old, but we did a new one in the new studio like a week or two ago. That's going to be up there shortly. So you've got that as a great resource that you can watch or share with others as well. So on joinsamson.com, you'll see that video as well.
We also have some more save the dates for you guys. For all of you NVAR producers, NVAR is coming to our studio on June 7th to do pictures. So if you receive top producer status and you are typically getting a certificate from them or a pin, then come on into the studio and we're going to have NVAR come in. We're going to do pictures with them and us, and you can take your awards for 2022 and put them on your social media. So mark your calendars. Again, that's going to be
They
in
bring
the
in a cool
Chantilly.
backdrop. It's a cool,
the step and
cool
repeat's
thing.
going to come, and they're going to come, and we're going to have pictures like we did last year. So it is June 7th at 10 a.m. in the studio.
Then in June as well, June
Yeah.
10th.
Saturday, June 10th. You're not here. You're not on this one, right?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Probably not.
Saturday, June 10th, we are having our meal packing event. We are doing it in Maryland. I think it's Capitol Heights instead of
It's Capitol Heights,
Capitol
right across
Heights,
the
Maryland.
DC border.
Yes, right across
yes.
the border. We are packing 25,000 meals.
This is awesome stuff, guys. 25,000 meals.
25,000 meals for the food insecure populations of Maryland and DC. So we are going to need setup crew, we are going to need packers, we are going to need breakdown crew and loading up of the boxes into the truck.
So here shows you your two opportunities. Friday
Yep.
night, there's going to be a setup crew, set up, display signage, unload the truck. And then Saturday is the meal packing, sealing, organizing meal pickups.
So if you're seeing that QR code, you can scan it. If not, we will be sending out emails shortly to get all the volunteer signups. Again, 25,000 meals, and this event is funded directly by the commissions that the agents are giving in the donations you're giving from your commissions. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We've got another meal packing event happening in July that we will be rolling out to you guys as well.
Tentatively the 22nd.
Yes,
If you wanna
tentatively
put a save
July
the date on yourself,
22nd.
July 22nd. And
We have to confirm space, but that is...
It'll be in the Northern Virginia area. Correct?
Yes, it will. It'll be in the Chantilly area. We are partnering. What we're finding is that we're partnering with churches for distribution because they have an extremely high need with the food pantries and sustainable food programs. They're tied into the backpack programs for the schools. So we're getting these food sent to the communities that drastically need the impact right away. So 25,000 meals in both events. Thank you, guys.
Talk to me a little bit about this Randolph School Garden.
The Randolph School Garden. So the Randolph School Garden is actually in Arlington, and they contacted us through Mobile Hope. They need help with their food pantry in providing, again, that sustainable, fresh food that they can give to their families in need. There's evidently a very large population of underserved children in that area through that community. So what we have done is we have partnered with them to create garden beds outside of their food pantry that we are building, that we have supplied the materials for, that we will be planting herbs, fruits, and vegetables.
Cares on the Cardinal Nest.
Yes.
You always see the most up-to-date information about Samson Cares there.
And guys, we invite you to participate at whatever level you're comfortable. If you want to show up and get your hands dirty and roll up your sleeves and crawl in the dirt, we'd love it. If you want to come to a packing event.
That's what Sarah likes to do.
I like to pack.
No, I thought that on your hands and knees rolling
Hey, I'll do it. I'll do it. But if you can come out and pack, or you want to set up, to us, because for every dollar we get, we can pack a meal.
Yep.
And that's huge to these underserved families. And even in Loudoun County and Fairfax County, there were over 60,000 children, this was before COVID, that were living below the poverty line. That was just in 2 counties. Well, we're impacting DC, Maryland, Virginia. We're now moving into West Virginia to also impact those markets. So the need is greater than ever, and we just appreciate you for everything you'll do to help us continue. But Samson Cares is putting your money to use, and we are continuing to hit that food insecure population in our children.
So we have a couple really exciting staff
Yeah, we
announcements to
do.
make.
Yeah, we do. Huge welcome to Nancy Williams. Nancy and I go way back 20 years.
So you guys were like
10.
40?
10. I like 10 better.
10. That's what I meant to say. She was 10.
10. Nancy and I go way back. Nancy's joining us. She's got a very long established career with Long & Foster, being the Charlestown manager in West Virginia for them. She is coming over to join us to be the Charlestown manager for Samson and our West Virginia principal broker. So we are super excited to have all of her knowledge and experience. She is well versed in the commission down there and forms and compliance and rules, and she is a great personality. So we're super excited to have her.
We are very excited, and welcome to Nancy.
Come join.
You'll get to
Yes.
see her more in the coming weeks.
She's actually going to start. She's taking a
1.
little vacation. Yeah,
Yes.
June 5, that
June
first
5,
Monday.
just kidding.
Yep, June 5, that first Monday, she will be in the office in West Virginia. So give her a couple of days before you reach out.
So we
Lori-
just thought
Lori's going to focus on KV
she's going
Core
to yep.
and building out those resources and training for you guys to really be able to dive into that into your business if you want to.
And we just thought, well, look, Nancy's a fantastic broker. She lives there locally in West Virginia. She's going to be a great. Frankly, West Virginia's taken off. You guys have just. It's been blossoming more than I could ever. I mean, I think we had 2 or 3 of them in the top performers just here today. So
well, we did, and our office was full. I mean, we moved into
Yes.
the office. We were in there for 3 or 4 months, and all of a sudden the office is full, and we're looking for more space in West
couldn't
Virginia.
even find a spot for Nancy at first. So
Yeah.
we're trying to find an office for Nancy.
We
so.
did. Sorry, First Heritage. I had to take your office. Yes. But we had to have
Rob's
a place for
like,
Nancy. Yeah.
But we're excited to have Nancy join our team. It's only going to help our growth
Absolutely.
in West Virginia even more. A lot of the Charlestown agents know this, but I had a meeting with a bunch of them, and we are looking at build a second office there in West Virginia as we find something that fits as well.
Absolutely. We're super excited to announce that we added Sam Hardman to our broker team. Sam was a high-performing team leader out of our Fairfax office. Our wonderful office manager, Madonna, who had been with us for years. We love her.
She's still with us.
She's still with us. She did not die.
She did not leave us either.
She did not leave us in any way capacity. She's actually moving closer to family in Upper Maryland to be closer to her kids and grandkids. So we wish her well on that wonderful journey. She is going to go to the Maryland.
It is tough to manage Gainesville from Bel Air.
It is. It
Yes.
is. So we're looking to see how we can keep Madonna in the family. But Sam has graciously stepped in as a wonderful broker to be our Gainesville broker. And he's been on the job now for a couple of months, and he's doing a fantastic job, and everybody loves him. So welcome, welcome, Sam. And Tyler Simmons, who was our agent service specialist and our assistant manager in Richmond, is now our official office broker in Richmond. Lindsay, who helped us get started, we are absolutely so thankful for Lindsay to help us get started in Richmond. She is continuing to focus on growing her own business because, of course, as you know, as you switch and stop selling and go into office management, your focus gets diverted just a little bit. So she's going to go back to working on her business. She's staying with us and continuing to grow her business and team. So we wish her the best of luck in that and thank her for everything she's done, and are hugely blessed to have Tyler step in a continued capacity with Richmond as we continue to grow.
The reality is we've had 2 great managers down there for a while.
We have.
Tyler's been a very, very capable broker manager for a long time with us. And Lindsay decided she wanted to focus a little bit on our team, so we're excited about that. And Tyler's going to step in great and continue to take the reins
Continue
there.
to steer the ship.
Nobody
Yep.
leaving. Just
Nobody leaving.
Just excited that Lindsay and Madonna and Lori are all still on staff. We're just getting a little bit of change in the leadership in those places.
Well,
So,
and growing
exciting stuff.
resources.
Yep.
We're always constantly trying to continue to elevate our skills, elevate our resources, and put the energy and focus into the areas that you guys like.
Cardinal Title Group. I'm aware of them. Miss Karen, there you are.
Oh, hello.
How are
I'm
you,
like,
Karen?
where are they at?
You didn't know we had pinch hitter today, did
I
you?
did not. I did not get that message.
Sarah knows me, she just has not seen my
Yes,
face.
I know. How are you? Come on in. We'll stick you in the middle so that you're on camera.
Right, excellent.
I'm gonna go to your slide first so that we.
There you go.
There's your information. Karen, this is our first time Karen's visiting us on camera today.
Yes.
So it's good to see you on
She's
camera.
like, yay.
Give her encouragement.
Thank you.
Reed and Carrie are in a conference having a great time today, I hear.
Oh,
So-
I'm sure they're loving it.
So, Karen, you are our settlement processor and manager. You're in our our Fredericksburg office here
Fredericksburg
locally,
office,
correct?
yes,
Right? So
yes.
all these lovely people know you and see you all the
Most
time,
people,
hopefully.
not everyone comes in the office, so
I
I
know.
don't normally
Come on
get
into
to
the
see
office and come see
everyone.
Make sure you stop and say hello to Karen.
Well, even if you don't come to the office, you should come see Karen when you're doing your
Yes.
closings at Cardinal, right?
Absolutely.
So-
We also have Sabrina that does closings, and I go to Richmond and do
Okay.
closings.
Oh,
if
wow,
you
awesome.
need a closing in Richmond, let us know. I go down there. I was just there yesterday. It is if you have not been to that office, it is a beautiful office. It is worth
In the
visiting.
space, that just the area,
It's
Libby
gorgeous.
Mill is
It's
fantastic.
gorgeous.
They've got this great lakefront. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Of course, one time we were down there, they had it roped off because somebody drove into the lake. There may have been some local bars surrounding that area. I'm not sure that alcohol was involved. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but dude's car was in the middle of the lake. Just saying.
So what did you come to talk to us today about, Karen?
All right, so I wanted to talk to the agents today about the importance of having the conversation with both your buyers and sellers on security. It is very important to talk to buyers about the fact that real estate transactions are a huge target for fraud.
Because there's a lot of money.
Because there's so much money being transacted. And I mean, especially in our market, you know, our average sales price, what is it in Fredericksburg area, I think is around $350, and I don't even know what it is up north. So there is a lot of money going back and forth, and people get very nervous because they don't
They should be
a
nervous.
real estate transaction all
Yeah,
the time.
and they should be a
exactly.
little nervous. Don't just necessarily take everything for face value.
So what you want to talk to your buyers about is you are sending them to a title company that you trust, as well as any lender recommendations, pest inspection recommendations. Everything is people that you trust. You want to have the conversation with them. If they get an email from somebody that is asking for money, first call they make is to you. They call you, you're their trusted agent. You are going to talk to them. Let me look at it, see it, make sure that it's legitimate or not. Most title companies will not ask for money until you are right up on the transaction, you know, the closing date. And fortunately, most cyber thieves still do not have that level of sophistication to know exactly when properties are closing, but it's getting that technology.
Never happened to me. Guys, it happens in our company all the time that we catch stuff at the last minute or that it's not going to be caught and then we pull it back. I mean, there have been, if you heard some of the stories that happen in the title industry, even in Samson Properties, you would be, we don't continue to talk about it because we like talking about it. It's because you have to have the conversation. You're not going to ever get in an email, so you have to have that conversation with your buyers. If you're working for an outside company, like Karen said, pick up the phone before you send any money. Make sure that you're sending it to the right place.
Let me put it to you like this. If you have ever received, and I can't believe I'm even bringing this topic back up, but if you've ever received the text from Donnie saying, please give me the gift cards, they'll hit you there. Why wouldn't they, for a $500 gift card, why wouldn't they hit you for $150,000 on a wire?
Right.
People fall for all of it.
People fall for it all the time.
And they put a sense of urgency on the email. They say, you have to do this today. So it is making them think, oh my gosh, if I can't get a hold of my agent, what is, you know, am I going to lose this house? Because it's an emotional purchase. So people get nervous. So just tell them, have that conversation. As soon as you're signing that buyer's agreement, have the conversation with them about it. With your sellers, the same thing in the other direction. We unfortunately cannot accept wire instructions for sellers' proceeds that are changed after closing because there's just too much opportunity for fraud there. If they want to come into the office and give us new wire instructions, we can do that, but you have to have the conversation. We're not trying to be a pain to your sellers. We are just trying to protect your money.
We're trying not to send your $500,000 to the wrong account. That's why we...
Overseas, usually.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's-
untraceable overseas, popped 4 times from 4 different, IP addresses. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And just to let you know, too, cashier's checks, those can be pulled back up to 2 weeks after deposit. People do give false cashier's checks sometimes. So that is why we tell buyers that if it's anything over $1,000, it needs to be a wire transfer.
Excellent.
And make sure you plan to. Many banks will allow, consumers to initiate what they think is a wire online, but it's usually only for a certain amount. And most of the time, it's actually an ACH and not technically a wire, which means the money's not going to be immediately available. We have to have money to settle a house. Like
Right.
people show up and they're like, well, I sent it via ACH and it was going to come in 2 days. Well, you can't settle on the house if the money's not there. And consumers, this is this is our world, we get it, and we think consumers get it, but this isn't their world. So we've really got to dummy it down and make sure that we are giving them all the specific information. Go the day before to the bank, make an appointment, send your wire. Don't wait until after the walkthrough in the morning and it ends up being an ACH and then the money's not available. You have to treat this like, even if somebody says, I've sold 4 houses in the last 2 years, great, you still need to educate them and give them step-by-step instructions.
And sometimes it will take a bank over 24 hours to get that wire to us. So if they're closing that day, you want to make sure, whatever day they're closing, that they set that wire transfer up the day before.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, and I went to the bank the other day just to make a deposit, and I don't ever go to the bank. I do it all online. But I was out near a bank and went and stopped in, and the bank closed at 3:30. I'm like, that gives like banker's hours like a whole new meaning. Like at least I thought they'd be open till 5. It's crazy.
So just as another reminder too with Cardinal Title Group about the remote closings, are you doing a lot of those, Karen?
We are doing a system now called Panda Docs that I'm told once you get through the security, that's fine. If they are in a position that they cannot, they can use this Panda Docs if they want to meet with a settlement officer during the closing, or they can sign with remote, like a DocuSign.
And it's great. It's called RON, Remote Online Notarization. And it's great. You get a real person. Some people do these remote notaries come, but you don't have the Cardinal personnel. Whereas we have our real life Cardinal personnel sit across me on the Zoom, go through the documents, make sure that the seller feels comfortable, cash buyer feels comfortable, and you as the agent, don't just let that happen. You hop in there as well. Be on that Zoom, be on that call, be a part of the process. Make sure if there's any last minute questions, you're there for it. But sellers love this if they're like, oh, I don't have to. Now look, it could be they've already moved down to Florida and they can close from where they're at, or it could be that they live in Reston and just didn't feel like driving into the office, But sellers, now the advice that we give on this is make sure that you request it a week ahead of time, or that they're ahead of. You really should plan for it a week ahead of time. So let them know earlier than that if you want to do the remote online notarization. But we say a week ahead of time because you have to pass a knowledge-based test. Make sure that you are who you are. Richard has to go. I keep using Richard because he's right here. But if Richard's going to close next Wednesday, he takes the test today and it asks him stuff like, where was your address when you were 10 years old? Which one of these looks familiar? You have to make sure that they test and they are who they are. He can take it again tomorrow. That's why we say plan for a week ahead of time in case you have 1 or 2 fails. You can still take it the next day and be eligible to sign. But the remote online notarization is a great thing. We can't do it with all buyers yet because lenders want you to be in person and sign. But we can do it for all cash buyers and all sellers. So make sure you have that aware. If you want that, reach out to your processor right away on that. It's another reason if you're at the seller side and you get the listing, you're try to get that whole deal to Cardinal, that lister, now they'll negotiate it for them.
If they fail, it has to be 24 hours later. And your seller can be anywhere, or cash buyer can be anywhere in the world. They do not have to be in the United States because the documents are going to be notarized by a Cardinal settlement officer in whatever office they're in.
Absolutely. Any questions for Karen or anything about Cardinal Title Group before we let Karen get off the stage and get back to her seat?
We're good?
No?
All
Well,
right.
thank you,
come
Karen.
and see me,
Oh,
please.
Kevin's got a
Awesome.
question
Thank
here.
you.
Held till the end. What do we got?
Good to see
Let
you.
me get you one right here. Here you go, Kevin.
Thank you. So if someone is a victim of wire fraud, do they have time to reverse the process?
So that depends, if I'm being honest. It depends how quickly we figure it out. There's been times that we figured it out very quickly, and caught in the first 12 to 24 hours, typically we can pull back that money or fix the process and get it back, and we have to get the FBI involved, and we get all sorts of stuff. Just real talk. You do not want to be in the middle of this. You do not want your buyer that just sent their $15,000 of life savings to the wrong spot, or the seller that sent the wiring instructions to the wrong person. All of a sudden, $200,000 their proceeds got sent to the wrong place or whatever. So that's why we're super careful with it. But it really depends on the situation. We try to act very quickly and get anything back we can. We've also got all sorts of insurances on our end, but there's times that.
But it takes time. It takes processing time, and
there's times you can. If it's 2 days later and you
time.
realize, then that money's been switched to 6 different bank accounts, and the reality is it's going to be too hard to find.
Well, and I think it's
on that uplifting note.
no, and I also think it's really important to note. Karen made a really great point about let your clients know they want to do a check instead of a wire. They don't understand. Like there are reasons why they are putting these policies and procedures in place to make sure that your clients are not losing their money. If that money gets wired to a different place, your seller's not selling, which means they're probably not buying on the other end. Your buyer's stuff's on a moving truck, right? They're not getting into the house. They don't have the money to buy the house. Everyone's life is in upheaval for weeks and possibly months at a time. And it's happening everywhere just by the sheer volume of scam texts and people spoofing people's Facebook accounts. Just the sheer volume of spam messages we get in our email accounts should tell them that this stuff happens on a daily basis all the time. So with Qualia, with the knowledge-based assessment for Ron, with the fact that they're requiring people to come in and give new wiring instructions if they change it, this is all designed to make sure that it protects the consumer and it protects their transaction.
Yes. All right. Audience participation
Good
time.
stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Thank you, Karen. Real Scout.
Who's used it?
Who has used Real Scout in the room? Raise your hand.
Oh, come on, people.
You got a couple hands.
We got
a couple people that are a little scared. Okay. How has it worked for us? I want somebody feedback on if it's worked for them, not worked for them, if they've liked it or not. I'm looking around. You people that raise your hand.
You get to have a mic.
I can make Richard talk, but he talks all the time.
He talks all the time.
Anybody else have any feedback, plus, minus, negative, anything they're seeing on Real Scout?
Here we go.
There you go.
We're going to move this one around the table. There we go.
I did have a question with the Real Scout. I did see that you're able to request a showing. Is it linked up with showing time?
It is not linked up with showing time, but if the buyer is in the Real Scout and requests a showing, it just tells you, the agent, hey, I want to see this house, so you can reach out to it. So it's linked directly to, if Sarah's my buyer, she can say, I want to see this house. Boom, it pops a notification up to me right away, but it does not connect to you. Then you have to.
And it's really super cool because it comes in on your
keeps you in
app.
the middle of it.
And it comes in on your app and it comes in an email depending on how you have it set up. So like my client will say, I love this backyard. And I'll say, and instead of being like, well, which one did they look at? I'll click on it, it'll take me right to the property that she's talking about. It's a real-time communication that I'm having with the client on the property that she's looking for. And then I'll go back and go, which one did she say she liked again? And all I have to do is pull up the messages, and it shows exactly the entire history, and it's recorded down so that I can see exactly what she's looking at, exactly what she likes, how much time she spent on it. It's great data.
So I was recruiting an agent. She does $30-35 million a year, and I was with her last week, and we sat down. I was going through the stuff we offer. She goes, oh, I love Real Scout. It has saved my business. It's actually a little creepy how much information I can get back from my buyers. I know what they're doing all the time, but I love it. It has really built up the connection. And I was like, well, there you go. You can join us. You got 3 less Real Scout accounts that she's paying for herself. I just saved her a bunch of money. So hopefully it's another perk. But she was like, from her angle, she was like, it's great. It's a little scary, but I can tell, like Sarah just said, how long, what she clicked on, what did she like, what did she not like. And now, I can see that she's clicked on this house 5 times. So now I reach out, I was like, I love that new one on Center Street. It looks great. What do you think? And I look like an expert because I know that she likes that house. She's already clicked on it 3 or 4 times. So the Real Scout really gives you that stickiness between you and your buyer that we weren't getting before, because where were they doing all their searching? Zillow, Realtor.com. And then
well, because Bright was just ugly.
Right.
I mean, the
so
Bright
they don't
search
look
was
around
just
in Bright.
ugly.
Well, they can't actually search in Bright.
And they can't see anything.
All they can do is
it's
get
limited on the
the
data.
exact search that I sent to you. They can look at in Bright. They can't modify the price. They can't modify the city. They can't do anything unless they ask you. They don't want to ask your permission. They're not children. They're going to go to a website that they can run their own search.
They're going to go to Zillow, and then they're going to take a screenshot and send you the screenshot
how
from
many
Zillow.
of you get screenshots from your clients or a shared link that says, can we see this house in Zillow? And you know what the problem is? That's cool, right? You're like, oh, why are you from Zillow from people? That's at least the best case scenario is they're still sending them to you. It's only a matter of time until they're on Zillow and they end up going directly to the listing agent.
Well, especially when they text you and you're not available right away, and then they go, oh, well, I'll just ask the question here.
You don't want them on the other sites because it's just a matter of time until you don't get that text that, hey, I like this house. And it's another agent that's paying for advertising there or the listing agent. Now they're the ones that's showing them the house, and they slowly are going to never feel less and less every day. They're going to feel
the need to go everywhere,
look out other places.
Well, and I'll tell you, that's legitimate because I put, when it first came out,
hopefully everything I say is legitimate,
it is.
by the way.
But I'm just pointing out from a practicality standpoint, that's funny. Sometimes, from a practicality is when we first got it, I like to beta test because if I'm going to roll out a new system and really stand up here and tell you guys that this is great, I'm going to use it myself. So one of the things that I did was put 5 or 6 of my buyers in Real Scout with mirrored searches of what I had for them in Bright. All of them switched over to the point where 2 of them came back to me and goes, can you take that crap that you were sending me before and turn it off? And I'm no longer getting, for my buyer that's active, I'm no longer getting the snapshots from Zillow and Redfin. I'm no longer getting the text going, hey, what do you think about this? They're responding to me solely through the app, and they're searching inside of Real Scout. So it is turning off their desire to go look elsewhere because we're giving them the data at their fingertips and in an environment where they can communicate with me immediately, and I'm responding immediately.
Yeah,
and that's
same
important.
thing. I don't have 5 or 6 buyers, but I tested. My wife and I, we always get everything that's in our neighborhood just because we're always curious, and we get the search and bright, and it's like, whatever, we see an address, and it kind of stinks. And then I set us both up on Real Scout, and it's like night and day. Partially because we got like stuff we want to, hey, to our friend, like, hey, move in our neighborhood. You know, we see something cool pop in.
You
like
can
we
be
all
my
do,
neighbor.
Right? But
Yeah.
the difference in how
Who wants
we
to be
like,
Donnie's neighbor?
See, that's not nice. None of them raises their hand. It's awkward. Thank you.
There,
See,
she
there
said
you
she
go.
would.
There you go.
Oh, Lena said I like the home. She didn't say I like Donnie. She just said I like the home.
But the idea.
You like, Lena goes, I like his wife. That's hilarious.
That's funny. That's normal. I'm okay with that.
That's fair. That's funny.
But the idea is that we are liking what we get a ton of. Set yourself up with a neighborhood search for your own neighborhood. You will see, you'll get comfortable with what you're seeing, and it's a much better tool. On the Cardinal Nest, if you go to Samson Partners, scroll down, click Real Scout, it's got all the information. I don't want to keep talking about this every meeting, but the fact that I only have 4 or 5 people raise their hand tells me you guys aren't bought in yet, and you have to, because it's
fantastic.
Totally different. The connection place for your buyers. The point I always make is this, and look, I don't want to depress anybody, okay? But and your numbers might be different, but if you put 25 people in the last year.
Not just that, they've fallen off opening, but that's because they bought with somebody else.
Right. Well, that was going to be my point, though, is that
well, go ahead.
if only 5 people bought with you, we like to in our head say, well, the other 20 people they didn't buy. No, they probably just didn't buy with you. At some point along the line, to Sarah's point,
there's no
they
engagement.
started looking at they engaged with Zillow, they engaged with Realtor.com.
And then they're going to PTA, they're going to Bunko, they're going to Pickleball, they're going to all these places, and somebody goes, well, do you have an agent? And they said, well, I have an agent set me up a search. Well, have you signed anything? No. Well, come on, I'll talk to you. And now this person's leaving you, still looking at your search. Thank you for that. But now they're leaving and they're working over here at the Bunko group because now they're having fun, they're partying, they're whatever. That person's engaged with them.
All right, I'm going to the. Oh, you
Yeah,
got
we
one.
have a mic.
Go ahead.
Mike.
I was going to say that on the Real Scout, the interaction that the client can do with the comparison, that is
What does it look like?
I don't think you're
Yes.
supposed to say it like
I'm
that.
not supposed to say the master bathroom.
But, I love that. And the comparison piece is great. I always compare it to, like, Best Buy, because that's the only place I compare
Best
stuff,
Buy.
right?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm going to compare 3 TVs or 3 laptops, you compare all the features,
Yeah.
you figure out what you want to buy. Well, they can do that with houses now, which is...
That's cool, yeah.
You can't do that any other websites out there as slick as we can here. So good stuff. Just another plug. Get out there, use it. It's no money to you. We're paying for everybody to use it. But I really do think it will help your engagement with your clients. And I think that the brave souls that raised their hand and didn't all want to talk, they were all nodding.
Come on up. There's a mic
Come
right there on the
here,
table.
Mr. Bridges. You got a mic right there. I think you're capable of grabbing.
Mr. Bridges,
Yeah.
what's your superpower?
I turn it off when I put it down.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, get
Oh,
the
that's
camera.
right, because JD said put the talent in the middle.
He did.
Put the talent in
That's
the
what
middle.
he said. Wait a minute.
Here at Samson Properties for about a month and 1 week, so that's
you
exciting.
go.
And
He's
I'm gonna
not
try-
counting at all.
That's a lot of information up there. I'm going to really try to do this as concisely as possible. This was transformational for me in my business, not just as a real estate agent, but also having owned my own coaching business for years and how to manage my time and how I was doing things. A lot of real estate agents I see kind of go through these progressions, right? We're a new agent, we're learning the business, we get through that bell curve, and now we're doing the job, right? And we get through, and all of a sudden we start getting clients, and we're busy, but maybe we're not productive, right? So all of a sudden we start figuring out what are the productive activities, what are the busy activities, and now we need leverage. But we're maybe not sure on who to hire, and specifically if we do hire them, what to let them do for us. So this is an exercise to help those folks who may be in that situation, trying to figure out what they need to do in order to take their business to the next level. So who here is familiar with the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle? Most of us probably have heard it, right? What is it? Somebody just tell me what the Pareto principle is. 20% of the
20, 80.
agents do 80% of the business, or 20% of your effort gives you 80% of your results. What if...
I haven't heard that one before. Hold on. We'll slow down with that. 20% of your
Efforts give you
gives
80% of your results.
Results?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scientific, they proved that back in the 1800s.
What's the rest of that 80% effort? I'm wasting
crap.
that, right?
That's
Yeah.
busy, not
Right.
productive.
Gotcha.
So 20% of your time is productive, 80% of your time is busy, right?
80% of your time is Facebook.
Well, in some instances,
80%
Facebook can be
is
productive,
Facebook.
right? If you're running
That's right.
ads or you're engaging with potential clients or prospects. So again, it just basically comes down to intentionality. But here's the other thing, is your 20% might be different from your 20%. So how do you decide what's your 20%? And that's part of this. So this topic is something that I learned through my coach. So I had a coach, his name is Dan Sullivan. He's great. He's got all kinds of podcasts. He writes a book every single year. So he's got tons of stuff. And he came up with this idea called your unique ability. I've heard it referenced as a lot of different things. I like to refer to it as your superpower,
I love that.
right? What is your superpower? And this is something that a lot of
Picture
times...
of Richard with a mask over there. Just
This is me right here. That's me. This is
little
my
baby
superpower. I'm riding the metro.
Yeah.
That was a fun day. But your superpower is the thing that stands out in most people's mind when they're thinking about you. Usually you struggle to identify your own superpower. So a fun tip for you is if you have someone that you love or somebody that trusts you or knows you very well, maybe knows you better than you know you, ask them, what in your mind makes me stand out when you're describing me to other people, or if you had to describe me to somebody in a very condensed way, in a positive way, what would be the things that you would say about me that stand out in your mind?
This is going to be fun dinner time conversation tonight, people.
There's actually a letter, if you email me, I can send it to you. There's a letter you can actually email out to these people. And I would suggest, I've done it. I've sent it out to past clients. I've sent it out to former bosses, co-workers,
Don't send
friends.
it to your spouse. I don't know if you're going to want your
You
answer
do want to
this.
send it to your spouse because,
only
fortunately
if they
or
like you.
unfortunately.
Only ask them if they're in a good mood.
Are you in a good mood, honey? Fill out this survey. Yeah.
But what it is they tend to tell you these adjectives that describe you, right? So when I got it back, a lot of folks responded in ways that I wasn't prepared. Like, I didn't think that those were things that made me stand out in their mind. To me, they were easy. They were natural. They were things that I didn't really put any thought behind because they're effortless. Guys, that's typically a sign that that's your unique ability. Your superpower doesn't require heavy lifting. Superman doesn't pick up a train and think much about it. It's effortless, right? The things you put a lot of effort into, a lot of times are not the things that are your superpower. So, if you're not leaning into things that you do well, a lot of times we find ourselves getting stuck in this rabbit hole of being busy because we focus on what we don't do well, spend a lot of time doing it, and we make incremental progress towards our goals, not massive strides towards our goals. So this is a great little exercise that you can do. You can determine your unique ability. And one of the things you can do is we just uploaded it. Shout out to Heather Ewan and Melissa Walsh. They took these forms that I had and repurposed with my coaching business. I sent it over to the other day. They Samsonized it, put it on the Cardinal Nest. It's already on there. And I've had people email me because we put it on there that night. And the next morning, someone was like, what is the activity inventory? What is this unique ability thing? I was like, oh my
What's
God.
my superpower?
I was like,
When you
well,
upload something and don't, people are going to find it right away.
they found it right away. I was like, oh my God, you beat me to the sales meeting because I was going to talk about it. But there's 4 quadrants in determining your unique ability. There's things that you're excellent at, right? This is your superpower. This is your 20%. I'm sorry, there's your unique ability, and there's things that you're excellent at. There's things that you're competent at, and there's things that you're incompetent at. And we all live in a space where we're doing one of those 4 things.
Let's hope that the 80% you're not incompetent in.
But you know what? It's interesting. A lot of times, things that we want to be good at that maybe don't come naturally to us, that aren't intuitive, we find ourselves muddying through, right? I saw someone on Facebook. They're doing it, and they're killing it in real estate. I've got to figure out how to do it. And you're working against yourself, right? Those can sometimes be incompetent tasks. And you got to ask yourself, you go back a month ago when we were in Winchester, we talked about the value of your time. And so if the value of your time could be better used in your unique ability or something that you're excellent at, an incompetent task, maybe it's social media, right? We joked about that earlier. There are a lot of people out there that you can pay a fair wage to do social media for you, and that's literally literally you will sit down and audit everything you do in your day for your business. Write it down. I don't care how mundane it is. I texted a client. I sent
I'm going to
listings.
go do this, by the way.
You should. You should. I
He
encourage
will.
everybody
That's
to
what's
do
funny.
it. I 100% did it. And there's 3 pages of blanks, and you'll just write everything down, and then this is where the magic happens. The magic happens when you have to put UECI next to every one of those activities. And then find out how much time on your schedule.
I just visualized what yours would look like. He would have you beside every single activity. Just saying. Look, I'm on him today. He told me I was 60 earlier.
Oh, yeah. Them fighting words.
Apparently she thinks humbleness is my best quality. Go ahead.
So what you want to do is you want to then list all of the items that you have, that you do in a day or a week or a month or at any point in your career during your annual things that you do for your business. And then as you look through every week, every month, every year, and if you find yourself spending 80% of your time on C&I activities, that might be the thing that you need to tweak in order to break through to that next level.
Well, that opportunity cost drastically impacts your income.
That's it.
Absolutely.
If you guys need help with it, I'm always around. Send me an email. That's all I really got for you guys today. Hopefully that was helpful.
Well, we have one more call out. We got to remind people
Yes.
about teams.
Yeah, Team Hub.
Yep, Team Hub.
Team Hub. If you are a team out there and you haven't responded to Richard's email yet, we want to
Please
put you on
do.
Team Hub. If you want to be on Team Hub, we're redoing that page. Just send in. He's got a whole. If you didn't get his initial email, maybe he didn't have you on the team list. Email Richard. Get a team profile, team video. Why are you pointing at yourself? We also need to know who your teams are. So if you email Richard, Richard will make sure Austin's aware of them. But a lot of times we call it team awards and we want to do all these productions. They're like, why isn't my team up there? We didn't tell
we
us who
didn't
was
know
on your
you
team.
existed
So
as a team.
you reach out to Richard if you want to be on Team Up, and Austin at tapesproperties.net if you're not showed up in team awards properly. Austin is the compiler of the team lists and the compiler of all the awards as well.
And this is important for both team leaders and potential team members. Our team leaders, we need to know what your differentiator is, which footprint you want to be in, how you're looking to grow your team, how you prospect. We need that information in a short, concise way to be able to roll that out to the agents and team members. Once we get that redesigned a little bit, you'll be able to go on, if you're looking at joining a team, and be able to see all the different aspects of the teams to figure out which might be right for you to be able to then interview those team leaders. So we are definitely trying to help our teams that are looking to recruit and our agents that are looking to grow more productively in a team environment versus an individual environment.
Help us help you.
There you go.
Thanks, Richard. Awesome.
guys.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it, Richard. Thank you
Well
very
done,
much.
well done.
Richard's going to continue to have great ideas and build up our education and coaching department. So look for more exciting
Look for more
changes
coming
on
to a screen near you.
that front. Mr.
Yes.
Rob McElroy with First Heritage is our next on up here to share some, impart some wisdom for us. They said talent has to go to the middle, Rob, so you're in the middle. JD told me so.
Thank you.
Hi, Rob.
There
Good
you go.
morning.
Good
How you doing
morning,
today,
Sarah.
Rob?
Good morning, Donnie. I'm
There you
doing
go.
well. How are you
Got a
all?
new fresh picture of you up at a
You have a farm?
And
dinner,
that's
looks
yeah,
like.
and
That's cool.
That's 2 Samson agents,
I
by
know,
the way.
that's funny.
I see that, yeah.
You have a farm? If you want fresh
I
eggs,
said,
just ask
just
Rob.
ask
That's
Rob
a
for
fun
fresh
fact about
eggs.
him. Where's your farm at, Rob? I didn't know you had a farm.
Literally about 20 miles away.
So you had
Okay.
between fresh eggs and grocery store eggs?
Massive.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to bring me an egg,
I
Rob.
will
Grocery
bring you an
store is
egg.
bad.
I will bring you a carton.
You're going to bring me a carton? All right.
Yes.
I'll taste test. I'll get back to you.
Well, thank
Excellent.
you for joining us, Rob.
Thank
Rob's
you.
been a great loan officer of 30 years. You're not
30
that
years.
old, are you?
I am that old.
You're like Sarah's age.
27? Sweet. I love it. I'm negative.
But sorry, Sarah. That's my second punch today. All right. I feel like I nailed that one, though. All right. So Rob's been in the business 30 years. Does a great job, both First Heritage for a long time as well. But what do you have to share with us today here?
Well, first of all, my superpower is mortgage lending. So
There
that's
you
it.
go.
I'm done.
Well,
What
got in,
part of
yes.
mortgage lending, Rob?
So actually, I'm not going to talk about rates or anything else today. What I really want to kind of talk about with everyone is kind of looking outside the box for clients on what we're dealing with the inventory situation right now. So talking about FHA 203K loans, construction permanent loans, lot loans, construction loans. When they can't find a home or there's a home that's not quite what they're looking for, FHA 203K, these are all rehab loans. So you can purchase a property, you can rehab it during the time or have it have it all set up so you can have it rehabbed as soon as you settle on the home, utilizing FHA 203K or conventional Fannie Mae home-style loans. They're great programs. For bigger, if you want to buy a lot, build your own home, there's those routes to take as well. We offer great construction permanent financing, as little as 10% down. FHA only requires 3.5% down. I do recommend 5% down for conventional, just for better pricing, but you can do 3% down as well. So there's some great programs out there that are available to kind of get your outside the box if someone just can't find a home that they're happy with in this market. There's other routes to take. If they find a house that looks like the house they want but needs a little work, they can utilize one of these types of loans to get that done. So it's just another tool in your box, basically, to help your clients move that forward to actually be able so they can buy a home.
And you guys have a lot of classes, it looks like, on renovation loans at
We do.
First Heritage?
Yeah, I just had one in the Fredericksburg office last week. It was well attended. I think everyone got a lot out of it. I see a few of the people that were in there last week. Having one next week or the week after in Tyson's, and I'm
Looks
working.
like
May 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah, May
23rd.
23 in
Great.
That's
Tysons.
next Tuesday for those
And,
that
yeah, so
that
you're welcome.
are good at the calendar.
You need to get a hold of Rolf or Todd on those, the brokers for the Tyson's office, and let them know if you want to attend, because I will be giving you lunch. So
There you go.
do like to with client services group with them to get one set up to have for
Awesome.
for the Chantilly group as well. So
Awesome.
yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
I don't
Here
have
we
one.
go. We got a second mic coming. There you go. Richard hadn't talked in at least like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
Yeah.
I was like, don't raise your hand, and then I,
I just
did.
want to point out that at least I'm happy I'm not on the hot seat on that one.
No, this is actually a
Speaking of
really
brokers,
great.
his-
This is a great
his
point.
others.
This is agent speaking to agent, right? So I had first-time home buyers right now. They're under contract here in Fredericksburg, over on 5 Mile Road, and they could not
Is that
win.
next to 8 Mile Road?
It is near 8 Mile Road. A lot of rap battles over there too.
Yeah. Some people got the joke.
Don't encourage him.
They could not find a house. We were just getting beat and beat and beat. Their price points 300 to 325. They're getting bid up into 375, 380 range. And we looked at this property over on 5 Mile. It had been on 150 days. It needed a ton of work. It had termite damage. Like you walked on it, the floors were wonky. They say, hey, listen, the price point, this owner is not going to sell this to an investor, right? It's just too high. But it's also not going to go at this price to a buyer who's going to move in and try and fix it. It's too high, right? Let's go in. Let's write on this thing. Let's do a 203K on it. We'll get all the repairs back. We'll try to renegotiate on inspection, which we did. We knocked about 20, 30, 80 grand off the price, which was still probably 30 or 40 grand more than like a wholesaler or investor would have bought it for. And they're getting all 80 grand of the work to be able to get a home. A home that's probably going to have 50 or 60,000 in equity in
probably
it
gonna
as
look
soon
a
as it
lot.
closes.
Exactly their finishings and the things that they want
Exactly.
in the home. It's
They're
like
going
a
to
brand
fix
new
it
home
up
for
the way
them.
they want to
Yeah.
as well. It's awesome.
First-time home buyer renovated their own home, and it's in budget. They were able to not have to compete. They knocked $80,000 off the original list price. There are options out there, guys. You just need to know what's available to you.
And they were able to
Great
get
avenue.
inspection and it fixed up too. I mean, not even forgetting about cosmetically, but so many right now, and you're competing with these first-time home buyers. That fine, great, you won the bid, congratulations. But you also took over a house with several
Electrical
$1,000s
issues
of
and all the
repairs and
things,
issues,
yeah.
and they don't have any money left to fix up that stuff because the first-time home buyer extended all their down payment and everything they had just to get into that house. They weren't allowed to get closing costs. So to have a house that's actually fixed up nicely and functionally the way they need it to with all the repairs done is a huge deal in this market too.
Well, and the other thing I would say as an agent, don't be afraid to think out of the box.
Good job, Richard.
Nice job, Richard. Don't be
Richard.
afraid to think out of the box. Talk to the lenders, find out what's available to you, and use some of those strategies to help your buyers get in. Don't just sit back and go, well, it's not on the MLS and it's not in your footprint, so therefore I can't help you. You guys have got to think a little bit more creatively in these environments where there's not a lot of inventory as well. Can we
Also,
Mike,
don't
back
talk
here?
like.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm dealing with an assumption, an assumable loan. For the second amount that is not going to be past the assumption price, is there an option for a second, or is that what does that look like?
That is totally up to the servicers, an FHA or VA assumption. Okay. VA and FHA don't really want any secondary financing, so just so you understand how an assumption works, in case you don't, for anybody. Basically, when you're assuming that loan, you're literally taking over the interest rate, the term, et cetera, where you are in the term on that loan. So with that said,
with that principal balance.
yes.
Yes.
So they are basically whoever's buying that property and assuming that loan, paying whatever this agreed sales price is, and their down payment normally is going to have to be whatever that difference is between that and the loan amount.
So that's what
Now,
I was asking, yeah.
most servicers that I'm aware of, and because you're always going to deal with the servicer of the existing mortgage.
Right.
So like myself, I won't get involved in an assumption because it will be with the existing lender that has it. So, and all you're doing is literally replacing the person. There are, you said it's a VA or FHA?
Yeah, it's a VA.
VA. So is it a veteran assuming it or is it a non-veteran assuming it?
I think he is a veteran assuming it.
Okay.
Basically, he's just gonna, like
He's
you said, pay the
replacing his
difference.
entitlement with the current veterans.
Right.
No,
No,
it doesn't.
Not anymore.
But there are some downsides to non-veterans assuming, so
Right,
that's
so
why I was
I'm
asking.
basically asking about what they're gonna do about the
Hard money.
$60,000 difference.
Hard money.
I'm
Your
asking.
best case, you're going to have to find it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
so
second.
if you will reach out to, Candace is going to love this, if you'll reach out to our Fairfax manager, Candace Astroff, you can
Yeah.
find her information on the Cardinal Nest. She just went
$320,000. Well, that $300,000, 320 you're assuming could be at 2.5%. You know. Right.
Oh, well, that's
So-
not bad. Yeah. That's
So I
not
mean,
bad.
right.
it,
Right, all day long
In
and 2
hers,
times on
in hers, it
Sundays,
was
right.
60 up with the other 80, either a hard money lender or your own cash or a combination of the two. But if you were to go get that 320 loan right now and it's 6.5%, that's a huge
That's a
gap.
huge delta.
So you're saving a ton of money. So if you pay a little higher interest rate on the 40 grand you had to borrow because you put $40,000 down, you got a $40,000 hard money loan. That difference, you don't care if it's a 10% interest rate on the hard money. You're still saving so much on the first 320 that it makes it worth it. until you can
10%
pay
on
off
60,000 versus 2.5 on 450,000 is a
Big
huge
difference, yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
A lot of people are taking out a line of credit or a second trust as soon as they close.
Right.
So you
Pay
only
off
really
that hard
need
money.
bridge financing for the delta,
Yep.
and then immediately following because you still got like Tower Federal, Arlington Federal Credit Union, a lot of these specialists that are second trust mortgage financing that'll go up to 100% LTV. So
you might
don't have to dump the
better
whole
you might
thing
better
in.
pay the.
Awesome. Any other questions for Rob?
Yes.
Hold on, we got to have a mic up so that he can hear you at home.
Are there any options for someone who's here on a visa, wants to make a purchase, no social security number, no credit?
What type of visa do you know?
I want to say a work visa.
Well, as long as they're here legally, I mean, the issue is going
They
to
are
be no
legal.
credit. That's the challenge. So realistically, the only route you'd be able to take would be a manual handwritten loan, have to get some other sources of credit, car memberships, insurance payments, at least a year. That's going to be a much more difficult loan for them because it will not go through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac's automated underwriting systems, which is pretty much what all lenders rely on. So we'll actually go old school. So my age being 30 years in the business, when we used to manual underwrite every loan, that's what you do. So you have to manual underwrite those type of loans. So you're falling back. You don't get the high debt to income ratios you get with the automated underwriting system. It falls back to old school 28-36 on conventional loans, 29-41 debt to income ratios on FHA loans. And we can't go above those. So you have a little wiggle room. But repayment, that's the whole point of it.
So yes. So the answer to
Yeah,
that is
send it
yes.
to me.
The answer is yes. There's just some more bridges to jump through.
So to
you
her
got to get into a
question,
great
though-
loan officer to go through it.
But her question's great. How long, because on a normal loan, what we say, oh, we'll settle in 30 days. How long do you need to manually underwrite a loan like that?
Well, we would need 12
6
months of
months?
history. We
No.
need 12 months of
She means
history.
how long?
How long
contract?
from contract to close?
Well, underwriting, I mean, we will underwrite that up front. That's something that we're going to deal with right up front because it's not going to be approvable through manual underwrite or automated underwriting systems. So, I mean, I normally underwrite internally in my head, but I will use automated underwriting systems to back myself up and make sure everything's okay. But with manual underwriting, that has to go to an underwriter. We've got to, and it's very smart to do that. So you want to
So
underwrite
you're
everybody up
approved
front.
subject to finding the
So it
property
shouldn't
in
add
that
a lot to the
parameter.
process because they manually underwritten you.
Yeah,
we're
just
ahead
gonna-
of time
we're
to
gonna
make sure you're an
address it all
eligible buyer.
front.
And what about cash in the bank? They have money. They have money in the bank. So is there a season? How long does the money have to be there?
So we just need 2 months bank statements. So we need 60 days history. So as long as it has not been deposited into their account in those 60 days, we don't care. Anything that's been deposited within those 60 days, we have to address it if it's not like a direct deposit for like income pay, things like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other
Any other
questions?
questions?
Awesome. Well, thanks, Rob.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Rob.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
all. Have a
You
wonderful.
can find Rob and all the other great
and
First
don't
Heritage
forget, we want your
offices
business.
in our offices. Also on the Cardinal Nest, we got a First Heritage Mortgage page. You can find all our great loan officers there.
Yep.
So what I wanted to reach out to you guys now, we need more audience participation here for a couple minutes, is what are you seeing in the market right now? What is going on around you? Anybody do an open house in the last week or two since we've, kind of in this type of season? Anybody done an open house at all the last week or two? Good, bad, or indifferent? Uh-oh, she's moving. She's walking towards Jay. She's going to make Jay talk. Jay, what are you seeing out there? I know you and your team got a bunch of listings out there. What are you generally seeing as the market conditions, kind of where on your listings anyway?
Well, you touched on it. So inventory is still low, right? So if you have a listing, you're lasting. I'm starting to
you have a listing, you're lasting.
You're lasting, yeah.
That was a Jay Johnson mic
listing,
drop.
you last. That's it. Appraisal gaps. So it's competitive on the contracts. I'm starting to see appraisal gaps.
So they're putting contingencies in there to cover if there's an appraisal gap that they're willing to cover the difference.
They'll pay difference. Yeah. About 10,000 right now is what I've seen.
So typically when you write in an appraisal gap contingency, you'll put a limit to how much more aggressive or more competitive without you're limiting your risk. If you're a buyer, you just say, well, I'm waiving appraisal. Well, appraisal will come in at 370, and all of a sudden they got to come up with 30 grand difference in my example. But if you give a gap contingency of 10 grand or 20 grand, yes, I'm willing to compete more, but I'm willing to limit kind of my exposure. So you're seeing a couple of those?
I've seen that on a couple of my listings. Appraisals came in low. So like the last 2 deals, I've seen appraisals come in low, but they had the appraisal gap, so it still worked out.
So your seller was still able to get everything they needed to get. Yeah, that's great. We used to promote that as a strategy in our aggressive markets a couple years ago, but we didn't have a really cool name for it. Appraisal gap contingency. It's become
commonplace now.
It's become a more common name now. So I appreciate that we're able to label it now. So good. You're seeing competitive, less inventory, appraisal gap contingencies. Anything else? Have you guys, has your team done any open houses the last couple weeks? How's traffic overall?
We haven't had yesterday about some tenants she was working with, and like the guidelines for renters, 650 to 700 credit scores. They need to put money down, and so these are people that can buy a home. So it's just having that conversation with the tenants. Why rent when you can buy?
Yeah.
And the prices are going to be less as compared to what the rental rates are right now.
And I think
that is one thing I'm seeing too. Rental rates are popping up big time.
Yeah, they're high.
It's become so competitive because more people moved into that market because they're afraid of that interest rates, right? Well, if more people flood into that rental market, what happens to rental prices? They're going to go up quicker, right? All of a sudden, that $2,000 rental is $2,500 a month or whatever, and it's all of a sudden it's like, why am I renting? So get them with a lender. We can get with so many low money down options that they might be able to get in and purchase and start to build that equity. Be able to write off the interest they're paying, and the net to them is so much cheaper than paying $2,500 in straight rent.
Especially with that credit score requirement, 650 to 700, like you can qualify to buy a home.
Right, because it's become so. It's also become so competitive to rent now. It's not just pricing. It's sometimes you got to have A+, across the board. There's that even more flexibility in the buying. Sometimes than even be able to win a rental, right? Well, good tidbits there, Jay. Anybody else want to be brave? Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Mike's
there we go. I'm going to run. I'm on it. Sarah can take the stage. How you doing, Miss Lisa?
Fine, thank you. I just wanted to say that we're doing open houses. We don't have the traffic volume maybe that Northern Virginia does, but our opinion is if 2 people come through it, that's 2 potential clients we didn't have the day before.
Sometimes I like having 2 to 5. You can spend good time with them.
You get to have that good engagement versus
exactly, and
you
also
25 people, you can't talk to anybody, right?
And also with the 200 cards that we are able to send out before an open house, that's 200 more conversations than you had. So it's to us, it's a no-brainer, and we have developed some clients to maintain contact with.
Awesome.
Oh, I love that.
And then you can shoot them.
You
can shoot them to Real Scout.
You can.
And then you can put them in Real Scout. Look at Lisa's just hitting all the check marks.
I love it.
200 free cards, Real Scout.
That's hilarious.
Lisa's a paid plant by me.
He'll slip the 20 to you before he leaves. But the cool thing about that is it increases the stickiness. Real Scout does increase the stickiness that your client stays with you and that you're continuing to reach out, and it looks like you're reaching out versus an automated system. So love that.
Any other things people are seeing on the market? Buyer competition, listings, inventory, open houses. Good thoughts out there. I mean, I can generally paint with a wide brush, but I like having, the real life examples from anybody out there. So, well, good. If you think of anything, pop into your head, throw that hand up. I'm going to quickly go through our April market reports. This is all the data for April. for a lot of our big areas. This is the whole Washington metropolitan D.C. area. So you can see there's less inventory out there. Well, 44% less listings were put on the market in April. 5,000 instead of 9,000 in the same month last year. That's a big difference.
Well, and the
in
5-year
inventory.
average is 8,000. I mean, we are so below average.
5-year average is 8,000. We're at 5,000 for last month for all the DC areas. That's not great news as to why we don't see a lot of inventory. So new pendings were down 26%. Obviously, with less things out there, you're going to get less things under contract. But we actually had more things go under contract than last month. So believe that or not, that means a higher percentage of them that's very competitive, that a lot of them are going under contract as soon as they go out.
So you too can sell your crap house because it's the only thing on the market.
So,
Sorry.
For those of you guys that aren't having the success that you want, I don't love to look at these numbers because from a global perspective, running a real estate company, it means this is across the board. But last April, there were 6,200 properties closed in this whole Washington metropolitan D.C. area. This April, there were 4,200 properties closed. So the whole market was down 33% as far as transactions sold. So if you're down a little bit from last April, well, so is everybody else. Now, what does that mean? It means you have to try to find that inventory, try to find those buyers, create land deals. You got to
get creative.
Market. You got to show people why it's a great time to get out there and continue to do some of the things we're talking about. But there is less stuff going on out there. That means you need to be on your horse. There's two ways to look at that. You can be like, oh, well, it's bad, and just go hide in your corner and sulk about it, or you can engage with Lynn's classes and Richard's information and all of our staff and engage with each other and learn, well, Jay, how did you guys get your last 3 or 4 listings? Okay, well, let me engage. How did you, send those postcards out to an open house and engage with them, get them on Real Scout? You've got to do some of the things. Maybe they're things that you haven't been doing before, but you got to change your messaging, change your efforts out there so that you're getting some of the traffic that is going on out there, creating some of that. Obviously, days on market are still great. This is not shocking to anybody. This last one I'll do is the active listings. Well, we talked about less inventory going out there. It's the lowest it's ever been. The average is 7,900 active listings at the end of the month. There's 5,300, so it's a pretty low total. It was low last year at this point. It's 5,600. Right now it's 5,300, so it's actually lower inventory across the marketplace than even last year at this time. So just jump in, Jay. I couldn't tell if you were scratching or talking. Yep.
Absolutely.
I would love to work with another Samson agent. Let's work together. We have the right competitive offers, of course, but let's keep it in the family.
Don't forget the sneak peek board. Don't forget Samson Agents Property Group in Facebook. Use them. Hit the masterminds. Talk to other people. Collaborate with other people. Do office accountability groups and Facebook or mastermind groups in your offices. These are all ways for you guys to help each other.
Well, it's a great point, Jay, because right now we're at 10, 11, 12% market share in this area and in some of these market shares. So, Sarah just told her, hit a listing, she get a lot of people out. Look, there's a 12% chance that somebody's going to write it on Samson, and hopefully even higher if we advertise it internally a little bit. And it's great to be able to, that can be a huge win when it comes to being a buyer's agent that hopefully, now, as a listing agent, we're not asking you to take less from a Samson agent, but if you've got a great other agent on the other side, work with each other. You might look at it and say, look, there's 3 offers out there, but I want to try and get Lisa's client to win so we can work with each other. And, you say, look, Lisa, it's got to be here, and you can help make that happen, So working with each other can help be a win-win for everybody. We got another mic behind you there, Mr. Donnelly.
Sorry, I'm kind of new. Where do I put my Samson
good
listing?
one.
Oh, that's a great question. So on the Cardinal Nest, there's a
Yes.
sneak peek board, which is where you put
It's on the right side.
On the right-hand side, which is where you would put new listings before you actually put them on the MLS. You look at her face. She's like, "Oh my God."
I have a listing today.
Awesome.
Okay, I could have put this on
So
2
you
days
also
ago.
need to go into Facebook to the Samson Agent Properties group.
Yeah.
And you can put your coming soon, going active today. You can put your pictures, your description, and just let the other Samson agents know about
That's
it.
a
before
great
it's MLS.
question. We assume people know these things
great
all the time. Facebook group, put it in there. You can advertise it as much as you want in the Samson Agent Facebook group ahead of time because it's a closed group, just our agents.
Just our agents.
And the Samson Properties sneak peek board on the right side of the Cardinal Nest. Go in there, put your information. As soon as you have a listing agreement, it could be going on in 30 days or 90 days. As soon as you have a signed listing agreement, you can put it on the Samson sneak peek board, create that interest ahead of time.
Now, compliance side. Make sure you have that office exclusive addendum signed before you start rolling it out to all of the Samson agents before it goes into the coming soon status in the MLS. as a general rule, when I do a listing agreement, it is part of my listing package. I have them sign it even if I'm not going to use it, because if I want to flip strategy and use it, then I can. But just have that office exclusive signed, and then you can do all of your pre-marketing inside of the sneak peek board and the Samson Properties agent group, and it's all legal.
So quickly, and I'm going to move past this quickly, but you could just see some of the samplings, NVAR, FAR here locally, PWAR, GCAR, and DC City, some of our biggest ones. You know, it's across the board. Those listings are way down with everybody. DC City is actually the least, but that's 30%. So a lot of people down across the board. It's not just that DC metro area slide. This is all our top ones. New pendings, you know, down a bunch from last year. Fairly even across the board here, except actually FAR was the one that was down the most as far as 33% across the board. Similar across all these footprints. You know, in March is fairly level to April, so we were kind of similar March to April. So were we as a company. Our numbers were almost exactly the same. But on the
those last April numbers are painful.
Those last April, I just got all of our April numbers. I was like, looking compared to March, I was like, oh, it's okay. I looked at last April. I was like, oh, geez.
Ouch.
That is a punch to the gut.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, not shocking here. Sales prices and days on market we know are still competitive and good. But just want to make sure that kind of you see these on a global scale. Now, if you're like, how do I get more of this? Cardinal Nest, top resources in the top left. We've uploaded 20 different market reports. All those graphs you saw at the beginning for just the DC metro area, we have them for FAR, for NVR, for GCAR. We do 20 different areas all over our footprint with the drilled down reports. Know that stuff. Share it. You know, quote it out. But you should know your local stats so you can be that local expert as to what it looks like.
Yeah, use the stats to be the expert. Don't let them listen to the news because they're wrong, right? Don't let them listen to their car mechanic because they're wrong too. Be the grassroots expert and use it to drive more business to yourself.
So quickly closing up a couple other things going on with us. You know, Lynn's teaching her Jumpstart classes. These are fantastic. You know, I wish I could require it of all newer realtors for sure. But even if you're sitting around, you're like, oh, not doing as well as I'd like to be doing. Well, don't do the same things. Take Jumpstart, okay, if you haven't done it before. It's a 4-class series. She's doing doubles now. So Tuesday and Wednesday in Columbia, next Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 classes Tuesday, 2 classes Wednesday. Fredericksburg in 2 weeks, the 30th and 31st. She'll be doing doubles on Tuesday, doubles on Wednesday.
Charlestown?
And then Charlestown, I missed.
You said Columbia. Columbia was last week.
Columbia was today.
Today.
Actually,
yeah.
So that's why I'm thrown off. I was like, I thought it was Columbia, Charlestown.
23,
Columbia's
24
today,
is
so
Charlestown.
Charlestown next week, Fredericksburg in 2 weeks. Great opportunities to dig into your business and jumpstart it. So always got lots of education on our Cardinal Nest. You can check. We're doing the weekly updates now. One other thing is we're doing those live on Fridays at 1 o'clock now so that you can watch it live or log on to the Cardinal Nest at any point all weekend and watch that 10 or 15 minute talk about everything that's going on at Samson this week. Classes coming up next week. By the way, you have to do Fridays at 1 o'clock. So put that in your calendar. Guest appearance by Sarah this Friday because I won't be there. But she'll be live on Friday at 1 o'clock. We've got all of our education stuff. This first 96 series, Marketing Plan with Casey Samson. Guys, I know he's my uncle, but Casey is fantastic. He is so successful. His team, there is not a better price evaluator, marketer, listing agent is out there. You know, I looked up the stats because Casey sends me stats. I look at them. Right now, out of the last 10 deals in Vienna sold over $1 million, he sold 9 of them in the whole city. Like, the guy markets and previews and analyzes, and his team is a rock star with the way they do things. So he's doing this first 96 series, and that means the first 96 hours. That's the first 4 days on the market and how important that is, how to maximize it, how if you see their post, they're getting 30, 50, 100 grand over list price without appraisals and all this stuff. It's because he has a plan. He's not just putting on the market and, oh, great, I fell into something. I got 50 grand over list. There's a whole plan associated with that. He's teaching these live in Chantilly, and you know we're bundling them up in Justin's video. We're going to put them on the Nest later, but if you can get there, it's always better in person. You're always going to absorb it better. Look, we all know if we watch an hour class later, hour and a half class later, we're coming in and out. We're looking at Facebook. We're checking on this.
The phone's ringing, the dog's barking, the kid's yelling for food.
We're not focused. You get there, friend. You will get the idea, and you're going to be much more focused. So watch a couple of the ones he's already done, but I wanted to highlight that next Thursday, he's going to be at the Samson office in HQ. If you can get there, it's worth your time anytime Casey's teaching. So he also does Coffee with Casey, which is just shorter segments, for 30 minutes. I think it's every Thursday he does that. I believe 10:30.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is don't be afraid of his personality being maybe a little bit different than yours. Casey is a big personality. He's got a lot of great energy. You may feel like that personality is bigger than you. You can still adapt the principles and make it your own.
Nobody's
going to be Casey.
Into management. You know, I was doing okay selling, but you know, myself and Casey and learn. Yeah, Sarah says yes.
Yes.
But we'd learn so much from each other. We'd sit and we'd talk about what's going on because Bernie is so different than Casey. But there are things that Casey does that Bernie could learn from, and vice versa. You know, so take the tactics you can learn, apply them to what feels comfortable for you. To Richard's point earlier, you know, there are things that we all do that are so comfortable to us, and that's our natural, unique ability. That's our superpower. But take maybe some things that are other people's superpower, learn from them, and try to adapt them into the way you do listings and the way you market, even if you have to outsource it to other people. So I just want to put that plug in there because that was when you get somebody like that willing to jump up and teach, and we're going to hopefully have the Caseys and the Jasons and the Dilyaras and the Adams, all of our top agents are now going to be guests in all of our sales meetings to give these great tips and smaller snippets to you in our sales meetings. So we're going to close with this.
We are.
We do not keep the lights on and continue to provide great services and 100% in all of these offices and services to you all without this support. We need your support at Cardinal Title Group.
Which we just talked about. I mean, I'm going off script, so he's like, what the heck is she talking about? We just talked about how down the market is and how many fewer transactions that we have overall. Guys, every single Cardinal deal right now means more to us than you can imagine, because you think about your business being down, we are down 5,500 agents worth of business. So we are doing fine. We are investing in the right strategies and we're investing in the right tools and resources, but every single Cardinal deal now means more to us to continue to pour into you than it ever has in the past. So we do this because we're appreciative. We don't mean to hold you in here for another 10 minutes. We do this because each one of your names that we call out on this list means that we are keeping Real Scout and that we are looking at whether or not we want to add a different technology platform for people that don't love KV Core. Are we adding this trainer in to be able to teach these classes? Are we adding this? Are we adding that? Every single one of these deals makes every choice we make possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, you did. And those things are all true. And we have fantastic staff. Obviously, we have Karen that was up here earlier, but fantastic staff in all of our locations. Izmadi Izar, Akeem Aludin, Alex Etchimpong, Ali Dejanata, Anna Racanelli, Anne-Marie Clements, April Baker, Armando Guadalupe, my man Arslan Jamil 2 times, Aruland Havel Paninin, Austin Southern, Axel Shemis, Bahar Dalasthi, Bassam Hamandi, and Bill Petrie 2 times with his wife Berna, Bashuda Dahal, Brad Roars, Brittany Latouche, Candace Astroth, our Fairfax manager 2 times, thanks Candace, Carlos Fuentes 3 times, Carmen Carter Howe, Carolyn Collier, Casey Olinikov, Casey Sampson 2 times, Chivy Lamanchina, Chivy, just Chivy. Christina Pearson 3 times. Good job, Christina. Christina Seminaro, Chris Albrecht 2 times, Claudia Moreno Toledo,
Daisy Cordova, Matt Livia, Dana Jackins, Dana Cincy, Darren Robertson, David Luckenball 2 times, David Morales, Debbie Maxim, Deep Kumar Patel, Denise Mason, Dennis Cooper 2 times, Diana Patty Bowers Perez, Dilyara Demenova 3 times, Don Wong, Eduardo Echapon, Beth Ann Wilson, Manny Nieves, Ingalls De Leon, Fred Moshini 2 times, Galamini, Juliana Casu, Giuliaro Selman.
2 for 2, you got it both times.
2 times. Hamza Badi, Hanea Hashimi, Holly Wilson, Ian McVeigh, James Wilkins II, Jan Allen 2 times, Janelle McElwain, and Janet Allen.
Probably
Thank
Jan
you, guys.
Allen 3 times, I'm guessing. I think it was Janet and Jan.
Oh, it is.
Jan.
Janet and Janet,
So
3
she's
times.
probably 3 times.
Trace.
Great job, Jan. Janice Carnes, Jennifer Barner, Jill Judge, Joe Azer, Johanna Gordon, John Holsinger, John Rawlings, Joy Nicholas, Jordana Adams, Jorge Navarro, Jovanta Verdon, Julie Park, Justin Bailey, Cameron Zanga, Katriana Siniak, Kathy Thompson, Katie Mudd, Kayla Grimes 2 times, Charlestown, Kia Evans, Kelly Greco, Kelvin Lloyd, Kenny Zion, Kadeen Fisher, Khalid Riza, Kieran Marzaria, Christy Williams, Christy Edwards, Krunal Mehta, Larry and Laura Bean 2 times. That's the Laura scream. And Lei Yi.
I just realized after reading on that little itty bitty font, so much easier reading behind me. So sorry for my back.
It's those 29-year-old eyes.
There you go. Lisa Patton, Lisa Vega, Luann and Ed Hook, Lulu Arden Jason, Manisha Houchin, Manza Hyatt, Mano Boogie, Maria Solano, Bougie.
Bougie. I don't know.
Bougie. Ooh, I like that one better. I like that name. All right, call me and tell me how to pronounce your name. All right, Maria Solano, Marwa Ali, Matt Dubina 2 times, Myra Pineda, Melanie Davis, Michelle Cammerdiner, Michelina Curry, Mike Dowling, Muhammad Hoke, Moonwar Khan, Nancy Jackson 2 times, Nancy Mazzell, Natalie and Kurt McArthur, Oleskion Wadipe, screwed that one up, sorry guys, Peggy Arimland, Peter Frias, and Pilar Giocochea.
There you go,
Nailed it.
Pino Bulupangsanan 2 times, Priscilla Quander, Rajib Kapoor, Ralph Johnson, there you go, bringing it home. Is that Pops? There
Pops.
you go.
We'll count him.
Raman
We'll keep him.
Abarin, Raymond Bromell, Rex Thomas, Robert Heather, Rolf Kratz, Roxanne Southern, Sanjeev Shah, Sarah Humke, Sean Jones 3 times, Sharon Lewin, Shelley Snyder, Sherry Covert Brown, Sidra Khan, Stephanie Johnson, Stephen Benitez 2 times, Siyun Ri,
Sir, you ready?
Suri Reddy, Tahir Nassar, Tamar Myers Moffitt. Where's Tamara? Is Tamara in here?
She in here today.
Tara Lowe 2 times, Tyler Simmons 2 times, Vicky Zuvik, Yolanda Bell, and Zachariah Yelton. So thank you
Nice
so
job,
much.
you guys. Thank
All
you so
174
much.
transactions in the last 2 weeks at Cardinal Title
We
Group.
could not do it without you, friends.
We cannot do it without you. That is one thing I just realized about one sales meeting a month is we'll have a longer list, but it's very, very thankful for each and every one of you. So thank you so much for that. Just closing up with, guys, we're thankful for your continued support. Please continue to take the classes, engage with us. We're going to do whatever we can to help you build up business during the spring market. We're trying to provide those recruiting rewards so you have a way to earn some extra income if you bring some buddies to Lunch and Learns or have them connect with us. Continue to support Cardinal Title Group. We're excited about our new style. So one sales meeting a month from today, basically on June 20th in Chantilly, or June 21st. And then
21st.
Then HQ to You will be a great thing we start bringing it through the summer. Really revamping, re-energizing all of our education to help build you guys up as realtors. So we're excited about all that stuff.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much for coming out today. We look forward to seeing you guys. Have a fantastic next month.
There you go.
Next
Take
month.
care.
And we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.